This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Storm could dump 200 millimeters of rainfall over southern and eastern Jamaica. The Meteorological Service of Jamaica says Tropical Storm Ian has the potential to produce 100 to 200 millimeters of rainfall, mainly over eastern and southern parishes, as it passes close to the island on Saturday night and Sunday. It gave the update in its 11 p.m. bulletin. It added that flash flooding is likely over low-lying and flood-prone areas during the weekend and on Monday. Tropical Depression 9 that has been making its way through the Central Caribbean Sea was upgraded hours ago to Tropical Storm Ian, the ninth named storm of the season. Earlier yesterday, the Met Service issued a tropical storm watch for Jamaica, which remains in effect. That means that tropical storm conditions could start affecting Jamaica within 48 hours. In its 10 p.m. update yesterday, the U.S. National Hurricane Center said Ian is expected to produce heavy rainfall and instances of flooding and possible mudslides in areas of higher terrain, particularly over Jamaica and Cuba. The NHC said hurricane conditions are possible in the Cayman Islands by early Monday, with tropical storm conditions possible in Jamaica on Sunday. The local Met Service said Ian is moving west-northwest near 12 miles per hour. A westward or west-northwestward motion is expected through early Sunday. Maximum sustained winds are near 65 kilometers per hour or 40 miles per hour with higher gusts. Strengthening is forecast during the next few days, and Ian is expected to become a hurricane on Sunday night. Tropical storm force winds extend outward up to 55 kilometers or 35 miles from the center. Bus conductor shot dead in Hanover. A bus conductor was shot and killed in a daring attack on a bus that sent desperate passengers jumping through windows in Hopewell, Hanover on Friday evening. The incident happened around 7:45 p.m. in the vicinity of the Orchard Main Road. The police have not yet released the man's identity. It's reported that the man was working on a Toyota Coaster public passenger bus that was heading towards Lucy, the capital of the Western Parish. On reaching the vicinity of the Hopewell service station, a man posing as a passenger with whom the conductor was involved in an argument for much of the journey pulled a firearm and opened fire, eyewitnesses alleged. The driver stopped the bus and the passengers alighted from the vehicle. Some jumped through the windows. The wounded conductor also ran from the bus but collapsed shortly after. He was later pronounced dead. St. Catherine woman in drinking spree to mark her 21st birthday found dead. A St. Catherine woman who reportedly drank almost 24 cups of an alcoholic beverage to celebrate turning 21 years old was found dead hours into her birthday on Thursday. The Browns Hall police in St. Catherine North are investigating a case of sudden death. The woman has been identified as Shanoy Brown from Kentish District. Brown reportedly indulged in a drinking spree, consuming an array of alcoholic beverages on Wednesday night before retiring to bed. A video has since emerged on social media showing Brown taking shots of liquor while counting to 21. She was found unresponsive in bed around 9 a.m. on Thursday. An alarm was raised and Brown was later confirmed dead. St. Andrews South Police list Skull and Gaza Man among persons of interest. The St. Andrews South Police have listed 5 men as persons of interest in relation to the recent increase in crime and violence in sections of the division. These persons are urged to turn themselves into the Hunts Bay Police by midday on Saturday, September 24. They are Ronald Smith, otherwise called the Skull; Orlando Blake, otherwise called the Lando or Gaza Man; Raheem Brown, otherwise called the Burger, a man known only as Dane, and a man known only as Skilly. Anyone with information about the whereabouts of these individuals is being asked to contact the Hunts Bay Police at 876-923-7111, 876-923-6197, Crime Stop at 311 or the nearest police station. The list was released Friday evening, hours after a deadly shooting on Crescent Road off Waltham Park Road in the police division. A curfew has since been established in the area. Brown calls for 12 months of mourning for gun victims as Senate passes new Firearms Act. The new Firearms Act, which gives the authorities the power to impose a maximum sentence of life in prison for persons convicted of gun possession, has moved closer to becoming law. The Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Act 2022 was passed by the Senate on Friday following 2 days of debate. The legislation was passed with 17 amendments and will therefore go back to the House of Representatives. Under the new legislation, persons convicted of illegal possession of a firearm face a mandatory minimum sentence of 15 years behind the bars. Persons involved in gun trafficking and the stockpiling of weapons also face life in prison if convicted. Human rights groups have criticized the legislation, but the government insists that persons involved with illegal guns must be removed from the streets. During Friday's debate, opposition Senator Lambert Brown called for the government to declare 12 months of mourning for victims of gun violence beginning on the date when the new Firearms Act becomes a law.
That in honor of the victims, families, that the government, through King's House, proclaim 12 months, not 12 days, 12 months of mourning for the victims of illegal gun in the main in the country. And I'm making that proposal to the government. 12 months commencing with the appointed day of this legislation. 12 months when we mobilize the political parties, the religious communities, the church, the mosque, the temples. 12 months when we mobilize civil society, the trade unions, the private sector, and I know the private sector has been very generous.
Child hospitalized after being hit by pickup truck in St. Thomas. A student of the Grand Spend Primary School in St. Thomas is in hospital after being hit by a pickup truck along the Albion Main Road yesterday afternoon. It's reported that the boy left school and was playing with other students when he ran into the path of the vehicle. He sustained head injuries. The driver of the vehicle reported the matter to the Yellows Police, where he was questioned and warned for prosecution. Westmoreland teen sentenced to 15 years in prison for father's murder. Garnet Foster, the 18-year-old who confessed to murdering his father, a Westmoreland-based clergyman, has been sentenced to 15 years behind the bars. Home Circuit Court Judge Justice Courtney Day recommended he serve 10 years before he is eligible for parole. Prior to sentencing, the court heard that the teenager had been a troubled child and a student at a prominent high school in the parish. The court also heard that he was a member of the school gang and was suspended on numerous occasions. A psychiatric report revealed that he was a chronic abuser of marijuana. Garnet Foster Sr., the 45-year-old pastor of the Church of God of the Mountain Assembly, was killed at the family's home in Petersfield on July 23, 2021. The police had reported that the teenager told his uncle and grandmother, who lived next door, that he discovered his father's body with a knife sticking out of the neck. However, the teen pleaded guilty to the crime 2 months ago in the Westmoreland Circuit Court. Don't try to cross it, Mackenzie warns against using flooded roadways. Minister of Local Government and Rural Development Desmond Mackenzie is warning Jamaicans to exercise caution when using the roadways as the country remains under tropical storm watch. Mackenzie was speaking at the handing over of 12 one-room studio units on Friday afternoon in the community of Bell Rock off Olympic Way in West Central St. Andrew. I am urging residents, not just in this community, but right across the island, where there is flooding, don't try to cross it. Those of you who drive motor vehicles, if the road is not passable, don't try and drive through the road, he said. Mackenzie lamented the many instances in the past where motorists have chanced driving across flooded roadways and have lost their lives. He is therefore urging Jamaicans to take extra precautions in whatever activities they carry out during this time of expected inclement weather. And for those persons who are living in communities that is prone to flooding, we will make all arrangements. Buses to transport persons will be provided once the call is made, he added. When the transportation comes, make sure you use it because we are not prepared to put the lives of our first responders at risk because people are afraid to respond to whatever we are asking. Whatever you lose once your life is spared, you can work to regain it, said Mackenzie. He went on to say arrangements have been made to pick up persons living on the streets island-wide and to transport them to shelters. The government is making sure that everyone is protected, he said. Mackenzie further stated that the Office of Disaster Preparedness and Emergency Management would commence operations on a 24-hour basis, effective last night, and that all 900 shelters along with their respective managers were on standby. Once we have given the indication that we need to move to a different level, then we will make those announcements, he said. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.